Yes.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Northampton School Board meeting for February 13th, 2020. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We will begin tonight with meeting minutes. We have two sets of minutes to approve. The first one from January 8th. Any questions, revisions, edits, changes, thoughts, feelings? No? All right. Do we have a motion for those? Anyone?
I make a motion to accept the public minutes from the January 8th meeting.
We have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? All right, great. You have your voting online. Craig will log in a moment.
I can do you for right now.
All right, we have another set of minutes from February 4th, which are brief. That was our meeting during the deliberative session. Do we have a motion for those?
I make a motion to accept the public minutes from the February 4th meeting.
Second? Anyone? I'll second. Quiet crowd tonight. Any questions, comments? No? All those in favor? Abstentions? There's two. Great, thank you. And moving on. Correspondence and commendations. Do we have anything from our administrators?
We
Great.
do. So I just wanted to highlight, and some of these are in the administrative report too, but I wanted to highlight some really strong collaborations that took place at Northampton recently with the fourth grade teaching team and the Unified Arts teachers to produce a play on geology called Geology Rocks, and it was just really well received, and it was integrating content and the arts, and Marcia Zavez helped and Dan Singer helped, and it was a really great example of some great collaboration. The fourth grade team, Karen Haas and Linda Donahoe, worked really hard on that with the kids, and the fifth grade team also put together a play, and you have the programs for the fifth grade plays, and that was another example of great collaboration with the UA teachers and some strong content. That was Matter, the Science of Stuff, and the students developed experiments, and each class had a separate program for the parents that in the evening production, and highlighted their individual experiments and their work, and it actually was also a great example of competency-based education. It was their QPA. The teachers had rubrics to assess the experiments and gave the kids really quality feedback. So those were great examples. And then the other collaborative example I wanted to point out. So let me mention the teachers by name again too. So it's Tricia Markey, Catherine LaCroix, and Brenda Tharp, along with, again, Marcia Zavez and Dan Singer, to put that all together. And then the first grade team, which promoted the food drive for Gather. That's the picture you have here of the first graders. We collected, the goal was to coordinate the food drive with 100th day celebration, 100th day of school, and so they were looking to get 100 of each item, and in total we had 1,640 items, so well surpassed the 100 on many of the items. There was almost 200 cans of soup, there were 232 cans of tuna, a couple were a little short, but 280 toothbrushes and tubes of toothpaste, so it was just really another great collaboration. In the first grade team, and the first graders led an assembly to kick that off a few weeks before, and so again, thanks to Laura Nolan, Sharon Markey, and Tana Gustafson for coordinating that.
And they had their 100th day parade.
And the
With
kindergartners
their-
had the 100th day parade.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
really
was
cute.
really cute too, with the capes.
The 100th day capes.
Big thing to celebrate.
So.
I'd also like to announce that Ian Jones was our spelling bee winner, so that was very exciting. Congratulations to him, and many thanks to Linda Donahoe for working with me on putting the spelling bee on and all the after-school activities to help the students prepare and to learn vocabulary and build confidence. We also hosted a group of teachers that came down from Maine on Monday. It was really wonderful, of Leah Crone, Tana Gustafson, Lori Berry, Catherine LaCroix, and Drew Zaliga all opened up their classrooms and sat down with that team to talk about Bridges, our math program. They're looking at different programs, trying to decide in MSAD 35, which is Elliott and South Berwick, what program they would like to take on for their large district. And so they reached out to us, and these wonderful teachers took a lot of time and were very helpful. The team was very, very appreciative and really feel like they're going to be able to make an informed decision, and we're very impressed with our students and our teachers in our school. So it was really nice of them to open up Northampton to these colleagues.
Great. I would
I
like
have
to,
one if I may.
go ahead.
If I may. So I'd just like to thank Dr. Arkalian, Matt, and Dr. Lupini, and I know you're going to talk about Dr. Lupini in your report, but for the work that you did with Aaron Dowd to put together the video for CESPA. The way that you all led the negotiations to find kind of common ground and a great solution, and then the work that you're doing to support it with the community and with CESPA, I think it's going to make a big difference when it comes to Election Day. And it was extra work, and I appreciate the work that you've done
Thank
to
you.
get a good agreement forward.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to say thank you again to Matt for once again coming to one of our budget sessions, the deliberative session this time, and doing the presentations for everyone. I think everyone really appreciates the detail and work that goes into it, so thank you. And and Nancy Tuttle as well for all the work she does behind the scenes on preparing everything for the elections as well, which are coming up March 10th.
Coming up quickly.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Public comment. Anyone? Mark? All right. Moving right along, education update with school council.
We had a meeting, actually, it was yesterday.
Yesterday. It was just yesterday.
Yesterday. So we're continuing the work on identifying our shared values that are being derived from the Portrait of Graduate work, and came up with a template, I think, and are working on some sample vision statements that we think they'll be ready to bring back to the full faculty in the near future. The other big share that I think was really important for us to share, I guess is the right word, but each team member had discussed how we schedule special classes, UA classes, and just our lunches and recess and the whole day with their teams, and brought back priorities in an effort to start laying the groundwork for creating a collaborative schedule where there's a lot of buy-in and where more people have a voice within the school setting. So each member went around and shared some of the priorities that their team had in creating a schedule, and it was really interesting. You know, some teams really appreciated the length of certain classes. Other teams appreciated having instructional blocks that were uninterrupted in the morning. Other teams didn't have that and were looking for that. There were just all different reasons and all different viewpoints, but I think starting the conversation and starting to share those viewpoints around how we build the schedule was really important. So it was just a first step, but it was an important one, I think, and I think each member appreciated being able to voice their team's wishes with the Leadership Council.
Any questions? Tom?
Yeah, so I apologize. What was the date of that meeting? Like, so the reason I'm asking, let me explain the why I'm asking first.
Yesterday, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yesterday,
yesterday.
okay, great. So I missed that in the beginning, and I knew that we were kind of out of cycle before, but I'm glad to hear that we're kind of back on cycle, so I missed hearing you.
it's
on that.
February
Thank you.
11th.
Thank you.
Well, we'll be
Well,
off cycle next
Don't
month.
say it's the
12th.
12th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right. Easy enough. We actually don't have anything under continuing business tonight, nor under new business tonight. So we're going to move right into the written reports. Dr. Lupini, Superintendent's Report.
Thank you. So let me just mention a few things about the items that are in the report. So first of all, we've not been able to reschedule our legislative roundtable. I don't know if that speaks to the amount of work going on right now in the legislature. I hear that they're very busy and meeting on days that they don't normally meet, but we've been unable to get them together, and we'll continue to try. Tuesday, March 3rd is our Safety and Security Task Force, where we bring our police chiefs, principals, board chairs together to talk about the work that's going on in the SAU and to seek their advice on a number of important issues. We're nearly finished with the educator evaluation training that we've been doing with Bill Rebus. The last set of sessions were classroom calibration observations, where people were actually observing in schools, in classrooms throughout the SAU. The reports I've heard is that people found that to be really valuable, and Bill has one more session with us around how we continue this work beyond his time here. Just a reminder that you get the renewal recommendations from the administration in our March meetings. And in addition to those that are based on performance, just a reminder that we're also looking at licensure issues during that time. Last year, we did have some people who were here in the SAU that were on alternate licensure, on plans where they were working toward licensure, who weren't keeping up with those, and so they were non-renewed based on their failure to progress on licensure. But our conversations in March will be largely based on performance. And then just to Mr. Von Jess's point, thank you, Mr. Von Jess, for participating in the video. We did put together a video with one of our students from Winnicott High School, Aaron Dow, who's been working with me on some video projects, and have made that available and gotten it out to through social media, local cable access, our websites, and other means, which we think does a pretty good job of telling the story of that agreement, and in a factual way, the pieces and the benefits for the district and our important CESPA members in terms of what this collective bargaining agreement would provide. Thanks.
Any questions for Dr. Lupini? No? All right. Moving on to our Assistant Superintendent reports. Dave?
Thank you. I'll just pick up actually on the certification piece. We're in the process right now of reviewing teacher portfolios for recertifications. We've got roughly 90 teachers across the SAU up for recertification for next year. We've been communicating back and forth with principals around the traditional certifications, but also those alternatives. We've got a handful of teachers on alternative certs, and we're just keeping our eyes on them. I give you regular updates as that unfolds. So onto the written report. I wrote this not too long after our joint board presentation. I wanted to make sure to give that some air if you guys had any follow-up questions or comments on that. The second piece of my report is I just wanted to put a graphic together demonstrating kind of what we're doing in terms of bundling standards into those competencies. We actually, knock on wood, finished that work today with ELA 6 through 8 and Math 6 through 8. I'm going to sit down tomorrow with Jeremy and the test server and actually populate. So I'm excited about that. We're all excited about that, especially Becca. Thank you for your work. Public thank you for your work on that. Last is just the professional development calendar coming up. We had a great, successful day with the SDL. I'm sure Dr. Eric Alien will be talking about that. But in terms of competency work, we have a March 10th date, but we're going to be doing QPAs K through 8. And then on May 6th, we are going to be bringing student work to the table and doing some inter-rater reliability work with that. So that's my report for now. Questions?
Any questions for David? Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Our Executive Director of Student Services, Caroline.
Thank you. So we had a fantastic day on Tuesday. We already have a ton of overwhelmingly positive feedback about it. So we're pretty happy with the results. We had Scarlett Lewis, the founder of Choose Love Foundation. She kicked it off with closing remarks. Perry Plummer, who's the Assistant Commissioner of the New Hampshire Department of Safety. His presentation was very well received. And then we had breakout sessions. So schools got into their own groups and discussed how the Choose Love curriculum could support the SEL work that they're already doing. From there, we had a little lunch break, and we had a self-care presentation from our Director of Special Services from Winnicott. And then we closed with a really nice video. We had high school students interviewing staff, just a quick little question: why do you teach? Why do you do what you do? So we have a video. I think we're going to post it to our website pretty soon. So it's all clips of a whole list of educators and shots of different SEL bulletin boards and classrooms from around all of our schools in that video. So we'll post that up so everyone can see it. So it was a great day.
It was a great day.
Thank you.
May I quick comment
Yes,
on that?
please.
So, just how great a day it was. I actually heard 3 times after that professional development day how amazing it was, especially regarding the Choose Love movement. That moved people. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool when you're hearing in the community, because I'm not plugged into a lot of the teachers, but I heard it directly and indirectly around town. So that's pretty cool.
That's
So glad
great.
to hear
That's
that.
very
Thank
nice.
you.
Any other questions for? No? All right. We will move on to our principal's report. Cynthia.
So much of what's in here, we kind of discussed as commendations earlier, just a few things to highlight. We did have parent-teacher conferences last week during the week of February 3rd, and we were able to utilize the half-day on the 5th in the afternoon for parent conferences. So that seemed to go well, and it seemed like the timing made sense in terms of providing progress information to parents. So those were very well attended. The winter athletics, our basketball season's over, so we're in that little transition spot between winter and spring sports. We have 2 productions kind of going on. We had the Little Mermaid rehearsals have started, so that's exciting. And we had a group from UNH Arts Reach come and share a play called Who Came Up With That, and it turned out to be a really great opportunity for some humor and some imagination, and there were really strong links to the curriculum because the play was about a time traveling machine, and they traveled back to the times when the times of certain inventors, and our second grades are working on a big project and an invention convention that's coming up next week. So that worked out really well. That was for our younger kids. And then just to highlight, next on Monday, we have the second of 2 trainings in the benchmark assessment system for our 3rd through 5th grade teachers. And so we're excited about that, and I think that the teams are excited to have that training to support their literacy assessments. And then after the strengthening the assessments, they'll be able to use the results to better inform their instruction. So it does say February 17th and 18th. We are moving the 18th to a different day because of a conflict with the trainer, but the 17th is happening for the benchmark assessment training, so we're excited about that. And then kindergarten registration's coming up, so.
If you need a little basketball fix, though, on Thursday at
that's right.
3, the 8th graders are playing the faculty. So Erica Nardon's putting a team together. So if you do need to see a little basketball to get you through the winter sports lull. And next week is Spirit Week, so. Yep.
Any questions on the principal's report? No? All righty. Thank you. Finance report, Matt.
Thanks. So we have included the year-to-date expenditure and revenue reports, both from a revenue and expenditure standpoint are tracking well. In regard to expenditures, I will note on page 1, our special education account is over budget by $22,000, as well as our further down on the report, you'll see the transportation for special education, which is on page 6, is over budget by just under $17,000. So that's something we're monitoring. However, we don't anticipate the need to withdraw from the expendable trust at this point, but it is something that we were always cognizant of. On page 3, I also want to point out that our improvement of instruction budget does have available balance. However, within that account, budget account is our tuition reimbursement line item, which is just over $7,000 over budget. That's one of those accounts where there is a certain level of volatility based on the courses that our staff submits for in any given year. Otherwise, as I've mentioned in previous meetings, we have recognized savings in our benefits accounts, particularly with health insurance. So overall, we should be in good shape for the rest of the year. Be happy to answer any additional questions.
Questions for Matt? No. All right, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Our next item is, Budget Committee. Budget Committee is wrapped up for the year. We had our deliberative session on February 4th. Four or five warrant articles. We have all had full support at deliberative session, so all are going to the ballot as recommended by this board, and so we will see what happens to those on March 10th. Facilities report is in your packet. Any questions on that? And we'll bundle that with our nutrition report. We have those reports from facilities and food service. Any questions on either of those? I noted, participation is that something we're seeing in other districts too, in the SAU, that participation in lunch is down, or is that just typical fluctuation?
We're seeing it with similar districts as far as the demographics. For example, Hampton Falls has also seen a participation decline, whereas Winnicott and Seabrook are maintaining levels. So it comes down to a significant portion comes down to the free and reduced population, which is very low in Northampton. So.
All right. Any other questions for? All right. Moving on. CIP is on hiatus till the summer. Winnicott update. You have the principal's report in your packet. I don't know if there's anything.
No,
to add
there
to
isn't
that.
anything
Okay.
for me to highlight.
All right, and we'll move right on to the principal job description. Bill,
So-
did you want to speak to that?
So sure,
Yeah.
each time that we have an opening in any of our administrative roles, we go back and revisit the job description. We actually, this is essentially yours, because we used yours as the update, and in fact have taken it beyond just the districts that are open in terms of updating those job descriptions. So this is the recommendation, and there were some minor, I think, tweaks in language and whatever, but beyond that, it's essentially the job description that we have taken from Northampton and used throughout the SAU.
Okay. Any questions about that? And do we need to approve that?
That'd be great.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the job description as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the principal job description as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments? No? All those in favor? Okay, thank you. All right. Next meeting dates, we have, our next regular school board meeting will be Thursday, March 5th at 6:30 PM. The OC is meeting Wednesday, March 11th at 5:30 PM. Joint board meets Tuesday, March 24th at 6 PM. The policy committee meets March 31st at 4:30 PM. And then our April school board meeting, which will be the first with the new board, which will be the organizational meeting
Right.
for this board, will be Thursday, April 2nd at 6:30 PM. And I'll also add in here that elections are March 10th. Is that right? It is the 10th, right? Okay, Tuesday, March 10th, held here at Northampton School for both town and school district elections. So everyone show up and vote.
We all square for our OC meeting, which
That's
is the
what I was
day
going to
after
ask,
the
and I
election.
forget the email I wrote.
I'm on the operating committee.
Right, but it's the 11th, so it's the day
we have it?
after, and I think, Aaron, were you our alternate?
Yep.
I believe you are, and so you will.
Welcome to the OC.
Did you read that email? You'll be the OC rep on that
Oh, I think I
evening.
might have gotten that email.
Yeah, I hope you did.
Sure.
So, James, just a quick
Yeah.
question. The March 5th meeting, that's the same night as Candidates Night, which I assume that you're going to be participating in?
I did not know that was the
Candace,
same
I think,
night.
is March 3rd, Tuesday, March 3rd.
Candidates Night?
Oh, I'm sorry, for school board, sorry.
Yeah.
Board
I
is
did
March
not
3rd,
know
yep.
that was, sorry, I had it down.
So you're going to be at that, I assume?
Well, I guess I would have to be.
You don't have to.
Well.
I'm sure you want to.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
Elaine.
Wait, so I have to be at the
Uh,
operations committee?
And I'll
Is that for planning board as well? Yeah.
It's not that
Okay.
So
What time is that, you know?
Do you know what time that is?
the Candidates Night starts at 7 o'clock.
Well, based upon tonight's performance, I think you can get there on time.
Well, we're gonna have, we have renewals
Right.
Oh, that's right.
to deal with. All right, let's,
Don't do it.
Good call, Scott.
thank you, Scott. For some reason, I
You
had it.
still have, you still have a
problem-
quorum of 3 if everybody.
No,
shows
but
up.
we have to consider
So,
renewals, and that would be a
Moving
bad
up
thing to miss.
is difficult because
Yeah.
I'm going to channel this group. It's a lot of work that we ask them to do with the deadlines for evaluations. They're not till the end of February, so they have a lot of work to do. So moving up is hard. And moving back is impossible because we can't meet during the week of the elections because the elections don't actually get certified until the end of that week. So you'd have to go to the very next, so that's our
Bill,
problem.
is
Yep.
it a possibility to just have the meeting earlier in the evening?
Well, the problem is that and we'd have to split up. So yes, but we'd have to split up. That would have to be okay with you because we have a 4:30 Southampton meeting. We stack our meetings.
Could we talk to Southampton about swapping that day? Or is
Oh,
that a problem? Or- All right, I'll silence the microphone. Go on the tape. No.
that was pretty funny.
Oh, no, that's a good idea.
It sounded like you thought it was a great idea. I will check.
Okay.
I will check with Mr. Keim.
It's a longer drive to Dover from Southampton.
But it's a
They
shorter
like to
drive to
end
Beverly.
The evening on Southampton.
Matt and I like the idea. Others don't.
I'm open to it.
All right, well, we'll
check.
work on that, but we'll
Yeah,
work
and if
something out,
not-
because I think it would be best for,
If not, we'll have to split up.
okay.
Okay? And
Yes.
we'll do
All right,
totally do that.
all right, so
We're
we'll,
still on the 5th,
Yes.
but maybe earlier.
yes.
Yes.
Tentatively planned the 5th, but
And
perhaps earlier.
I'm sorry, that starts at what, and how early would you be okay with going? Because I know some of you have work schedule problems. So are you talking about 5?
Candidates Night starts at 7.
I'm flexible on time.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay. Tom?
As it turns out, I'm really flexible that day, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll
right.
We'll shoot for something like 5.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm going to the operations committee.
Oh, yes.
You're still on, sorry,
Still on that, are you?
you're
Yes.
still on the operations
Yes,
committee.
we have an OC meeting and
It's a
we
really
needed-
important job.
Yes,
We need you there.
and
Okay.
it's an important meeting.
Where is it?
It's at the SAU.
Okay.
It's in your email.
Thank
All
you.
right.
It's in the basement.
Thank you, Scott, thank you for bringing that up. I
Thank
even
you,
had it on my
yes.
calendar, and I just didn't even put
Yeah,
two
great
and two
call.
together. Unless anyone else has any other business?
Motion to
we
adjourn.
don't need to-
No, I do need,
Oh.
sorry, I
We're
do,
going
yes.
We need a, sorry.
I
we
do.
didn't have a-
Withdraw my motion.
I do.
Tom, do you have under A, B, C, D, E?
Under B, I believe.
5:30,
Okay.
huh?
Make a
Oh,
motion to move
okay,
to
thanks.
non-public under RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, parentheses B, and parentheses.
All right, is there a second?
Second,
Roll call vote, James?
Greg.
Aaron.
Scott.
Tom.
Okay,
Nate and Beck have asked to stay.
Just like,
okay,
Okay.
all right. Yes, all right, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.